Welcome back to Amerisogyny. I'm your host, Hannah Blue. This is episode 13. Is BTS saying goodbye? So, a story has surfaced that BTS may not return in 2025. Their founder, Bang PD, held a press conference where he talked about BTS, and he said there's no set date for BTS's comeback and asked for respect regarding the band's military service and career plans. He walked back a statement he made in October 2022 saying the band would reunite in 2025. Now he's saying that date is not confirmed. He also revealed the men haven't renewed their contract with Hybe. He said, "We'll discuss contract renewal with the members within the time, and I believe it will be right for us to speak about it after the discussion ends." Well, let me tell you, I'm not surprised. I saw this coming back in 2022 after they had the dinner. Based on what they said and the tears some of them shed, I felt they were saying goodbye then. So did a lot of other people. Media printed stories that they were going on a hiatus, which Hybe walked back, and some people lost their rabid minds all over social media. The tears, the insanity. "Oh, please check on me. I'm not okay." Someone told me on TikTok, "They can't disband. I owe them my life." I thought that was so creepy. My opinion, I don't believe BTS is returning, and I don't feel they should. And I'm going to break down why. The craziness of some of these fans has gotten out of control, and it's probably pushed some of the members to their breaking point. For example, we recently had a story come out on RM, or Namjoon, the leader of BTS. Some crazy public transit worker accessed his information and leaked it to her friends. Not only that, they sat next to him on the train. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, he has vision problems, so he doesn't drive, not at the moment. He accesses public transportation. Well, this employee took it upon herself to access his personal information 18 times. His address, contact information, oh yeah. And then she gave her friends tickets to sit next to him on the train. Now imagine how creeped out he was after he heard this. This was a blatant invasion of his privacy. And sick. When someone sits next to you on public transportation, you don't think they have a motive. Now what if someone didn't like him or wanted to hurt him and she leaked his information? Then what? That is beyond scary and creepy. It really is. Now every time he rides the train, if he still rides the train after knowing this, he'll always wonder, how much does the person sitting next to me know about my life? No one should have to live like that. No one. That is the lack of respect these so-called fans have for the men. If he never wanted to return as the leader of BTS, I don't blame him. As of now, he can't even walk down the street holding a woman's hand without it being splattered on the front page of some magazine. And he's very familiar with that. A monk he visited blasted his personal information to media. Things he said in private concerning military enlistment. Again, the lack of respect people have for these men is sickening. Namjoon's been going through it for a while. The ideas to his wildflower video were stolen. Stolen. Scene by scene. People were speculating he went through a bad breakup. If he did, that's his business. He's free to post all the sad songs he wants on social media. It's not for anyone to speculate on. People were watching his Instagram account for what they say were signs on Twitter. How creepy is that? If BTS disbands, some folks are to blame. The crazy ones who started fights online with others about this group, the people who bullied others about the members. It's their fault they might be leaving, in addition to the fear and fatigue. Let me tell you what BTS might be afraid to say. They are sick and tired of these crazy fans. They're tired of them getting into their personal business. They're tired of them leaking their personal business, speculating about who they're dating, who they're not dating. They're tired of the death threats. Jimin especially is tired of being called fat and ugly. And J-Hope is tired of the disrespect as well. Every time he got on live, some disrespectful little twat asked, "Where's Taehyung? Where's JK?" And speaking of JK, recently, some crazy fan threatened to leak information of who he's dating. As if we care. I certainly don't. And what made it super creepy? She also uploaded pics of him at his trainer's studio. That means this person was very close to him to get that shot. What if it was a different kind of shot? Like a gunshot? Is that reaching? No. When I tell you the bona fide craziness I've seen in this fandom, I'm not lying. People act as if these men belong to them. Seriously. They have bullied women they thought these men had affection for. One of them was Jungkook's friend. He couldn't even be seen with her in public. They harassed this woman, terrified her. Another was a friend of Taehyung's. Some went out of their way to make her life miserable. And for what? There was video floating around a while ago on JK. Someone uploaded audio of him at a convenience store. He was just minding his business. Now we can say these men knew what they were getting into, but is it fair? Did they really know? They were very young when they started. Some were children. Did they actually realize the cost they pay for being celebrities? I've already talked about the toll fame took on some K-pop stars who are no longer with us. Not being able to walk down the street or go to a movie with a friend in public. Not having friends. Jimin confessed to almost paying someone to be his companion, and he was talked out of it. Lonely nights. In LA, celebrities walk down the street all the time. Yeah, they're hounded by paparazzi at times, but they have much more freedom than stars in the East. I'm not about sitting here telling you how to breathe deeply. That's not my style. Traveling around the world with you each week, finding mental health in everyday situations is what makes this podcast unique. And this week, it's about the mental health of stars who live in a country that doesn't value mental health. BTS. Mental health. How is this news affecting their fans? Not just the unbalanced ones, but the ones who respect them, but became dependent on them to help them with their mental health. If they don't return, what will they do? Stay in another group? When will this transference of dependency stop? People can't keep relying on other human beings to cope with life because situations like this can happen. What happens if a group disbands? Not only for the fans, but the members. What if they develop codependency as well? It's possible. Some people lose their identity if they're not famous. The movie Twilight was huge when it was popular, and after the noise died down, Taylor Lautner said he questioned if fans cared about him anymore. Now we know BTS is bigger than Twilight, but how long can we expect them to go on? As I said, I'm not surprised they haven't renewed their contract. I think the signs were there all along, even before RM's private information was leaked twice. Some of the videos they did, I could tell they didn't want to be there. One in particular, with JK and Taehyung, they had them sitting there doing arts and crafts. Men in their 20s. Ridiculous. Listen, they've made lots of money, many times over, for themselves, for their families. And they've been screwed many times over. Having them do the free concert in Busan, do you remember? South Korea's government backed out of paying it. Who do you think footed the bill? And the Grammys. BTS was nominated and paraded like a bunch of ponies at a Piggly Wiggly fair. For ratings, nothing more. The Grammys knew they never had any intention of awarding BTS. Why? They're racist. To admit 7 foreign Asian men came to their country and broke all kinds of records, there was no way in hell. No way in hell they were going to be showed up by another country. And they allowed these young men to get their hopes up year after year. Even this year's Grammy Awards. It was cruel. Exceptional talent ignored, while people who didn't have the talent were awarded. I just want you to think critically about people who have won Grammys. Were they exceptional? Could they be compared to BTS as contenders? Think about it. I'm not saying this because I'm a fan. I'd say it if I wasn't a fan. I know BS when I smell it. Add on the racism, invasion of privacy, death threats, creepy cyber stalking, judgment from strangers. Ooh, he's not allowed to cuss, as if these men aren't grown. Ooh, they can't show body parts, as if people have never seen men without their shirts off. That is ridiculous. And these insane fad diets. Jimin starved himself, risked his life. Last I checked, Taehyung was on a diet where he wasn't eating. Who wants to live like that? And yeah, we can say this is the lives of celebrities, but is it worth it? For money? For fame? Everybody can't handle that. Some people lie to themselves just to get through the day. Some people begin drinking heavily. Is it worth it? I don't think so. The obsession some people have with them. I couldn't live with that. Now we know some celebrities have been taken out by crazy fans. Selena Quintanilla Perez, John Lennon, Rebecca Schaefer. It happens. Something happened to make them not renew their contracts. At least not at this time. I can't blame them. I'll tell you one thing. Twitter will sink even faster once it finally sinks in. BTS may not be coming back. ARMY is the only thing keeping Twitter afloat. BTS is at a point where it's time to serve their country and truly step into manhood. Maybe they'll grow beards now. Maybe they'll be seen in public without a shirt. Let their hair down a bit. Get married and have families if that's what they want. I'm for it. I've never seen them in a psychotic way. I've never craved them the way a pregnant woman craves ice chips. To me, they're human beings, not gods. But for the crazies who will cuss you out in a minute over them, they're pure and all-knowing. It's sick to put that much energy into people you don't even know. If they don't return, I wish them well. I think they've given enough joy to their fans. They've given enough of themselves, enough years of their lives. They should go on and do what makes them happy. If it's music, fine. If it's not, even better. And I'm sure the unbalanced will hop on another group because that's what they do. It's too much for them to live lives on their own, not through other people. The music may stop. The craziness won't. For the people I met online who told me they lost friendships over BTS, listen, you were going to lose those friendships anyway. Those people were never your friends. BTS was just the catalyst that changed the dynamics of your relationship. And I wouldn't recommend rekindling anything. Because if they can stab you in the back over strangers, what won't they do? You don't need anybody like that in your life. The lesson in this episode is to never put yourself in a position where you're dependent on someone else for your happiness. Be it family, friends, but especially celebrities. That's a parasocial relationship. And I talked about that in another episode. It's an empty relationship, one-sided, not fulfilling. You get nothing out of it. It's like putting all your money into a slot machine, hoping for something big, yet never winning. Life is tough. We all go through the storms of life, but finding joy in ourselves is crucial to overcoming them. Everyone has something special inside of them to give to the world. But when you put all of your eggs in one basket, you risk the bottom falling out. And the one thing that held you together leaves you cracked and broken on the floor. And I'm out of time. If you got something useful out of this episode, feel free to share it with friends. And feel free to subscribe to Misogyny on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening from. Be easy, have a good weekend, and God bless.